Yo, what's up YouTube? I'm Max. This is my affirmation video. It's my affirmation journal of a book I've been copying called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I'm sure you all are aware of that book. I basically copied the book here verbatim as my affirmations. And now I'm going to say it to the camera. So I think 2 times. So I hope you listen. I'm Max, and this is about Eckhart Tolle. Freedom from unhappiness. Do you resent doing what you're doing? No, not at all. It may be your job, or you may have agreed to do something that you're going to do, or doing it, being a part of that resents it and resists it. Are you carrying unspoken resentment towards that person close to you? Do you realize that this energy thus emanates and is harmful and affects you and that person, and in fact contaminating yourself as well as those around you? Have a good look inside. Is there even the slightest trace of resentment, unwillingness? If there is, observe it in both the mental and emotional levels. What thoughts are your mind creating now and around the situation? Your mind is there, and then you must look at that emotion with it as your body's reaction to those thoughts. Feel the emotion. Feel the emotion. Feel the emotion. Does it feel pleasant or unpleasant? Is it an energy that you would eventually choose to have inside you? Do you have a choice? Maybe you are being taken advantage of. Maybe the activity you are engaged in is tedious, and maybe someone close to you is dishonest, irritating, or unconscious, but all that is irrelevant. Whether your thoughts and emotions about the situation are justified or not makes no difference. The fact is that you are resisting what is. You are making the present moment into an enemy. You are creating unhappiness, conflict between the inner and the outer. Your unhappiness is polluting not only your own inner being and those around you, but also the collective human psyche, of which you are an inseparable part. The pollution of the planet is only an outward reflection of the inner psychic pollution. Millions of unconscious individuals not taking responsibility for the inner space either stop doing what they are doing to speak to another person concerned and express fully what they feel, or drop the negativity that your mind has created around the situation that serves no purpose whatsoever except to strengthen the false sense of self. Recognizing this is very important. Negativity is never the optimum way of dealing with any situation. In fact, in most cases, it keeps you stuck in a blocking of real change. Anything that is done with a negative energy will be contaminated by it, and in time gives rise to more pain and more unhappiness. Furthermore, any more inner state is very contagious. Unhappiness spreads more easily than a physical disease. Through the laws, it triggers very latent negativity. In others, unless you are immune, that is highly conscious. Are you polluting the world or cleaning up the mess? You are responsible for your inner space. Nobody else is, just as you are responsible for the planet. As within, so without. If the humans clear inner pollution, then they will also cease to create outer pollution. How can we drop negativity as you suggest? By dropping it. How do you drop a piece of hot coal that you're holding in your hand? How do you drop some heavy and useless baggage that you are carrying? By recognizing that you don't want to suffer or carry that pain or burden anymore, then letting go of it. Deep unconsciousness, such as that of the pain body, or other deep pain, such as that of a loss of a loved one, usually needs to be transmuted through acceptance combined with your light of presence, your sustained attention. Many patterns in ordinary unconsciousness, on the other hand, can simply be dropped once. You know that you don't want them and you don't need them anymore. Once you realize that you have no choice, you are not just a bundle of confined reflexes. All of these apply to you, and you're able to access the power of now. Without it, you have no choice. If you call some emotions negative, are you creating a mental polarity of good and bad, as you explained earlier? No. The polarity here is created at an earlier stage when your mind has judged the present moment as bad. This judgment then created a negative emotion. But if you call some emotions negative, currently, aren't you really just saying they shouldn't be there and this is okay and that you have these emotions? My understanding is that we should have ourselves permission to have whatever we feel that comes up, rather than judge them or be them as bad. We shouldn't have them, and it's okay to feel resentful. It's okay to be angry, irritated, moody, or whatever. To cause this is oppression and the inflict is of a denial. Everything is okay, is just as it is. Of course, once your mind pattern emotion of the reaction is there, accept it. And the consciousness is enough there to have the choice in the matter. That's not a judgment, it's just a fact. If you had a choice, or just realize that you just chose and you have a choice of suffering, joy, or ease, or unease, or peace, or conflict, you would choose that thought or feeling that cuts you off from that natural state of well-being, the joy of life within. And such a feeling I call negativity, which simply means bad. I call negative, which simply means bad, not in the sense of that you couldn't have that or done that, but just plain factual bad, like feeling sick in the stomach. How is it possible that humans killed in excess of 100 million fellow humans in the 20th century alone? Humans inflicting pain of such a magnitude on one another is beyond anything you can imagine. And that's not taking into account for the mental, emotional, and physical violence that the torture, pain, and all this continues to inflict upon each other as we sit here upon this pandemic and being on such a daily basis of these actions to the act in this way. Because they are in touch with their natural state of joy of life within? Of course not. Only people who are in a deeply negative state who feel very bad indeed will create such a reality as a reflection of how they feel. Now they are engaged in destroying nature and the planet that sustains them. Unbelievable, but true. Humans are dangerously insane and very sick species. That's not a judgment, it's a fact. It's also a fact that the sanity is there underneath the madness, and healing of redemption are also available right now. Coming back to the specific moment, to what you said, it is certainly true that you accept resentment, moodiness, anger, and so on, and no longer are forced to act them out blindly, and are less likely to project them upon others. But I wonder if you're not deceiving yourself. When you have been practicing acceptance for a while, as you have, there comes a point when you need to just go to the next stage, where those negative emotions are not created anymore. If you don't, your acceptance just becomes a mental label that allows your ego to continue to indulge in unhappiness and so strengthen in itself sense of separation from other people and your surroundings and your here and now. As you know, separation is the basis of ego's sense of identity. True acceptance would transmute those feelings at once. And if you really know deeply that anything is okay, as you put it, in which of course they're true, and then there is, and then these negative feelings are aware in the first place, and without judgment, without resistance to what is, they would not arise. You have no idea in your mind that everything is okay, but deep down you don't really believe it, and so the old mental emotional patterns of resistance are still in place. That's what makes you feel bad, and that's okay too. Are you defending your right to be unconscious or your right to suffer? Don't worry, nobody is going to take that from you. Once you realize that you have a certain kind of wakefulness that makes you sick, food that makes you sick, would you carry on eating that food and keep asserting that it's okay to be sick? That's Freedom from Unhappiness by Eckhart Tolle, my affirmation video to my affirmation journal. I've written it here. And I'm Max, and I hope you're listening. And of course, this is for a lifetime. And I'm out. Thanks for watching.